we would like to have Council Member Sorensen do our invocation, and then preceding that, after that, we will have Councilman Snelson do our pledge. So, thank you.
Our Father in heaven, we're thankful this night that we can assemble as city council and members of our community to be able to discuss the needs and the concerns of our city and to make plans and preparations for our future. We're grateful for the opportunity we have to live in this great city and for all the wonderful things it brings to us, and help us to always strive to do what's best for our citizens and to continue to make this a great place to live. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
All rise and repeat the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to entertain a motion to approve the meeting's agenda as written, or with additions or deletions.
So,
Or
I-
is that
I
what
will-
I do? Or-
do we need to set her up as pro tem as well, or is that
Oh.
already?
It was
So we're
We can
done.
carry. Yep, thanks.
Okay, might want to recognize the fact that Councilmember Crandall's acting as the mayor pro tem this evening. I'll make a motion to approve this meeting agenda, but not as written. We switched items here, so the final item on the agenda, which shows on ours as being item number 10, will be moved up before item 9, so it'll just be reverse order in the last two.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, is that a roll call vote? Or
No,
okay, a consensus?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and I can still vote because I'm on the
Yes, you
council
may.
too. I'm doing double duty, okay?
that's right.
Yeah, aye. All right, thank you. Okay, I would like to welcome any scouts or students that are here. And if there is anyone here that wishes to sign up to speak to the council, you can do so by completing the comment form.
And you have
And
one in front.
I have one in front of me. So would I like to do that first?
Oh, we have a ceremonial
Or
item agenda first.
okay, let's do the ceremonial item agenda, and I understand that's you, Josh. Okay, so come on up. Thanks, Josh.
Tonight we'd like to recognize Von Allman for his more than 30 years of service to the city, first on the Planning Commission, but for the last 20 plus years on the Landmarks Commission. He's actually being reappointed on your consent agenda, but we felt that it was a good time, as we've been trying to recognize some of our great volunteer community members, to take this opportunity to recognize him for that term of service that he's given. There have been a number of significant things that have happened during his tenure on the Landmarks Commission. Nearly at the beginning of that was the survey and adoption of our National Register Historic District and our Springville Historic District, which was a great achievement to open up a number of financial programs for people of owners of historic properties in our historic downtown area. Then there was some rezoning of the Plat A area to work towards preserving those historic assets. Later on in the teens, the Historic Center Community Plan was adopted, followed up by the Historic Center Community Design Standards, which provide some really good design control for new constructions in the historic district. So Von's been around for a lot of great programs and projects, and hope that he sticks around for for a lot more of them. And we have a plaque that we'd like to present you.
While you're getting that plaque, I'd just like to say, Vaughn, that I took a bike ride the other day and weaved the entire Plat A. So I rode every road in Plat A back and forth. I weaved a little basket on my Strava, so it looked really cool. And I'll tell you, that was an extremely enjoyable ride just because of those historic homes there that you've worked with. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, and also too, while you're coming up, Vaughn, I just want to thank you because I was able to build a home in the historic district and be able to conform to the design standards that you implemented, and it's just been a joy. In fact, there were two homes, so thank you. And then also, it was so fun to work with you on the Balloon Festival committee just a few years ago. And that was awesome to get to know you then. So thank you so much for your continued service. So thank you.
We have this plaque that reads, "In grateful recognition of Vaughn Allman for your outstanding volunteer service to the Landmarks Commission for April 2000 to July 2022, and it should read beyond." So,
All right, thank you.
so much. Yeah, I didn't sign up on it.
Great. Thank you, Vaughn. Okay, could we have Megan Dean? Could she come and address us? Hi, Megan, thank you. Come on up and tell us what you have to say.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, my name is Megan Dean. I am a resident here today asking for consideration to allow me to have 2 female goats on my residential lot to provide my family a reliable supply of the unpasteurized milk that we need. My daughter has an autoimmune disease that prohibits her from drinking pasteurized milk. We have been purchasing unpasteurized or raw milk from several local sources. However, these sources charge $10 to $16 a gallon. There's a high demand for raw milk, and we often can't beat the crowds to get milk even when it is in stock. In recent months, there are weeks when we are unable to get milk due to supply chain issues. I began investigating to see what amount of space was needed to responsibly house goats. I discovered the consensus among goat experts is that adult goats need 15 square feet of indoor space and 25 to 50 square feet of outdoor or exercise space. The current Springville ordinance requires 20,000 square feet for 4 goats and does not allow fractional animal units. If Springville did allow fractional animal units, our 16,500 square foot lot would be allowed 3 goats. We live in a low density residential area and have cows and horses across the street, down the street, and around the corner from us. One objective some have to goats is a concern about the smell. This is because their experience has been with unneutered male goats, which truly do smell awful. Female goats and neutered males do not smell. Springville was on the leading edge of cities to allow backyard chickens. It wasn't too many years ago that the idea of having backyard chickens was weird. Now it's weird to think of cities that don't allow chickens. There are several Utah cities now that allow their citizens the freedom of responsibly having goats on residential lots under 20,000 square feet. Alpine, Midvale, Bluffdale, and Linden are some comparable cities that allow 2 to 3 females or neutered male goats on residential lots. Nationally, there are large cities that allow goats on small residential lots, including Seattle, Los Angeles, St. Paul, Fort Worth, Chicago, Boston, and many, many others. Many families, including mine, would benefit financially from having milking goats at home, especially with the impact gas prices and inflation are having on our family budget. Dogs are universally welcomed in American cities. If we were to objectively examine the impact of dogs versus goats on public health and safety, I believe that goats come out ahead. Goats, if housed in pairs, are quiet, much quieter than some dogs. Goats do not bite or display vicious behaviors. Goats have less zoonotic diseases than dogs. Goat droppings make fantastic fertilizer, while dog feces is dangerous to human health and carries many diseases. Goat droppings do not smell or attract insects like dog poop. I have dogs. I like them very much. This is not a condemnation on dogs, but an invitation to objectively examine the ordinance regulating goats. I understand one important aspect of land use is balancing property owners' interests. I want to ensure that my land use does not infringe upon my neighbor's right to enjoy their property. Goats can be responsibly housed to be virtually odorless and quiet. I have spoken to most neighbors that I share a property line with, and they are all supportive of us having goats on our property. Please join them and support my efforts to provide an accessible, affordable, and sustainable supply of milk for my family. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Megan. We cannot comment on this time, but we so appreciate your comments and your research.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
I have heard from 2 council members about this issue, and I don't know if this is something you want us to bring back on a work session to discuss or not, but I just wanted to clarify that was something that I think Councilmember Sorensen wanted to discuss tonight.
Yeah, I just think we should have the conversation.
Oh, yes.
The note, and said I'd bring it to the council to, and I appreciate you getting back with me. I think we should at least discuss it. See, I mean, I was here when we approved the chickens, and I'm still seeing a lot of problems with some of the chickens, but I think this is a compelling reason more than a pet goat. This is not, I'm into goats, and we want to have 2 goats and 2 dogs and then 4 cats. You're not trying to create a little zoo down there. It's to me, might be something we could really easily do. So I would say, yes, let's bring it to a work session.
I agree.
Yes,
Have the
I
conversation.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
I think we would
I
all-
think it would be
Don't we
great
do-
to have
So
goats.
just to clarify, I mean, if they had the square footage in
Yes.
the middle of town, it's not like horses. I mean,
No, right now,
It's just square footage based. So really
not
all we have to do is
necessarily.
square footage.
Right now in Springville, you can have the goats in agricultural zones or R115 zones that have a space of 20,000 square feet that was brought up.
It's R115s.
Yes.
That have it. But if you were in an R110 and you had 25,000, you would not.
You
be
would
able
not be able to.
to. Okay, yeah, I think we should look at
So,
it.
and we have been looking at other cities, what they're doing, things like that. And so we can come back and kind of show you what's going on in other cities. And it is something that there's been probably, 5-10 years where it's been a push even in huge cities. But if you want us to do that, we'll get it on the agenda.
Okay, yes, let's do that.
That'd be a lot more enjoyable than some of this other stuff we talk about.
Yes, please.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd actually be kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah. I like goat cheese. Okay. Let's move on to our public hearing.
Actually, consent. or
Oh,
consent
dang it,
agenda.
did we not do the consent agenda?
And just as you are getting there, do have a request from the applicant on items 6 and, well, I'm not sure. It's 6 and
Okay.
7 on one agenda.
Okay, so we have an,
Yes, ours is different, so it's 5 and 6.
It's 5
5
and
and
6 on
six.
ours.
5 and 6. If you want to continue those, they would appreciate that.
okay, well, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda and for items number 5 and 6, to put those on another agenda. I
That
didn't,
works.
is that, continue it? Okay.
I'll second.
Oh,
All in favor?
all in
It's a
favor?
roll call.
Is
Is a roll call vote? Okay.
Yep.
Chris?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Jason?
Yep.
Myself? Yes. Okay. So item number 7, public hearing for consideration of a resolution and budget amendment to the fiscal year 2022 and 2023 Springville City budget. Bruce.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We made it all the way to August before we had to come and amend the budget.
Wowza.
There's only a few items on here, but I'll run through this list and give you a little bit of explanation. You do have a staff report in your packet, so perhaps you've already seen these. First item's in our police department. They actually, our emergency manager applied for and received a state emergency management grant for $11,000, and that wasn't anticipated, so we do need to appropriate those funds into the budget. So this amendment would appropriate those $11,000 for use in emergency management program that's housed in the police department. That's the first item. The second item is more of an oversight than anything. You may recall mid-year last year, we approved a new public works inspector position, and that position uses a survey rover pack We haven't had a real need to purchase that yet because the position had been vacant. But I think we're on the precipice now of hiring someone, so this amendment will appropriate $35,000 from the Capital Improvement Fund to make that purchase. The next item is one we discussed in our last work study session, I believe. And the idea here would be to reappropriate or to reduce an existing budget line item in the capital budget in the community park line and take $25,000 from that budget and appropriate it into a Dry Creek Trail landscaping design project that we discussed last time.
What was the total amount of that line item, Bruce, that was, that showed for community park, the total amount that we're taking, was it 250?
Let me look here. It was 250 as adopted, so this would reduce it to 225.
Okay.
And then the final item is an item we discussed a couple of weeks ago relating to our hardship committee funds, which we've discontinued. And so the proposal here was to transfer the balance that exists there over to the county to be administered to Springville applicants to the county's heat program. Those dollars reside in the electric fund as it stands right now. We also have just a couple of items from our fee schedule. You'll recall that the comprehensive fee schedule is adopted as part of the budget. There were a couple line items of the 1,100 or so fees that exist there that we missed apparently. And so we just need these couple of items changed. The 10 punch pass down at the CRC for youth going from $40 to $50, and the youth individual non-resident 6-month pass from $110 to $115. And then there was we didn't have an adult 10 punch pass, so we're proposing to add that at $60.
Hey, you probably don't know the answer to this, Bruce, but I'm just curious what the demand is for those. I mean, I think Michelle and Stacy back there. I mean, are these punch passes, I mean, they're popular? I mean, we're just in fees. I'm just curious how much usage there is of those.
Is it a savings?
So it's just a convenience item.
Thanks.
Those were the only items on the list. If you've got any other questions, we'd be happy to address those. Otherwise, we do need to open a public hearing for any public comment, and then we'd look to the council for our resolution.
Any comments? Okay, I'll open the public hearing for comment.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Okay, is that a roll call vote?
No.
Just, okay, all right. Okay, then,
But we do
could
have,
we get a motion?
You
You
have
still
to
need
vote.
to take
We
the
still
vote,
have to
though.
vote.
Oh, I still have to
Take the
Not a
vote,
roll
just
call.
not individually, so all in favor.
take a, oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so now can I get a motion to, a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2022-30 to open and amend the general fund, capital improvement fund, and electric fund budgets for operating and capital expenses applying to the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023, and amending the comprehensive fee schedule as outlined in Exhibit A.
I'll second it.
That's a roll call.
Now it's roll
Okay,
call.
and now a roll call vote. Okay, yes, for me. Jason?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 8, public hearing for consideration of a resolution and the sale of approximately 20 acres. Do I say that? No, I don't. Oh, you're helping me. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Kim. Okay, it's number 9. Okay, public hearing for consideration of a resolution and the sale of approximately 20 acres of Springville City property located in the Springville Industrial Park. Parcel number 2301. Okay, so John, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. This is an item that's before you for the sale of property in the industrial park. At one point, Springville City owned most of the property here in the industrial park. It used to be an old pasture. Historically, then, it was changed into an industrial park, and there's been pieces sold off here and there. Recently, meaning within the last several months, we've had interest. Actually, we've had interest in this property for quite some time, but in the last several months, it's kind of picked up. And so, under the direction of the City Council, we did put it up for sale. We've listed it on the real estate listings. We also had several people call, make inquiries, and we've had a number of offers on this property. What we did is we opened it up for bid. We also went out and got an appraisal to make sure that the bids are higher than or meet the appraisals. And that's one of the things we have to do underneath our ordinance to sell a significant property. As you see here, the property is located north of 1400 North. That's this street here. If you look over in this direction, actually about right here is where Stouffer sits. And then Provo's just up off the screen here. And so we're looking at this property in this location. In the agenda, it talks about being approximately 20 acres. When we first put this up, we were looking possibly just selling this 15 acres, but as offers came in, many people wanted to pull in this acreage as well. So the total amount of the acreage that you see in front of you is roughly 17.7 acres. And so as you look at the offer that's before you, I'll just go through a few things. The offer for the total property is $6,350,000. As part of this, there would be an earnest money that would come to the city immediately once the documents are signed of 10% of that amount. That will be credited towards the total purchase price at closing. There would be a due diligence period for 60 days to allow any sort of test to be performed. Also, during that due diligence period, the potential purchaser would have the ability to come in and make application with the city to make sure that they can do what they want with the property. This is in the industrial or light industrial zone. One of the things they wanted to use this property for is for a construction yard and also for an office building. You can see to the north, there already is a construction yard up here in the kind of the northeast of the property. And so that gives them the opportunity to make sure that they can do what they want with the property. Also in the agreement, there is no water that exchanges hands because we cannot provide water, but historically this was the city's pasture, and so we, as part of the due diligence, we can look at the history of it and see what is available, and the agreement allows us to credit them that water. Being construction yard, I don't think there's going to be a lot of water that would need to be credited anyway to this property. There are two bodies of water that come through it. I say bodies, it's not necessarily a body, but Spring Creek comes across from the east, comes across the road into this property. It does go up along the north of the property, and also goes kind of right through the property. And so that kind of shows you what you're looking at with this property. Closing would be 20 days, the earlier of 20 days after due diligence, or if both parties just want to close within the next 20 days, that could happen as well. But it's just the
It's quick.
earlier of 20 days after due diligence, or if the parties decide to go something earlier than that, then they can. So, any questions?
Yeah, first of all, is this the complete piece that the city owns, or are there additional pieces that aren't being sold in or included in the transaction?
This would be the complete piece that would be part of the
So
transaction.
these other little sections around the big white building at the kind of the base of the T?
Yeah, so the city does not own
Okay.
any of these parcels. They've previously sold those parcels. This parcel, as part of the agreement, it does state that there will have to be a survey done, because this parcel right now is attached to the roads and everything else around it. And so it does discuss the process for subdivision. There will have to be a subdivision eventually on this. It does allow us to move forward, though, with a survey and a sale.
Wasn't there a little bit of wetland on it? Is there any wetland or not? Not
Well,
sure.
right now, we don't know if there isn't. I pulled up
Does that change their offer if there's wetland on it? Or?
and that's part of their due diligence. They can go through and look at that to see if there is any wetlands. On the National Inventory of Wetlands, it does show this waterway that runs right through the middle of it, and then it also shows the waterway to the north. So,
Both being,
wetlands, yeah.
and that, so when they're gonna get that taken care of in 20 days, huh? That'll be fun.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know,
no,
that's pretty quick.
20 days after due
But,
diligence.
but they
after.
already know that this is wetlands, and they're making the offer knowing that these are
My
there.
understanding is, yes, they're making the offer knowing what's on the property because they have looked at the property. Now, I don't know that there has been a wetland study done within the last 5 years to really know what wetlands are on the property.
Okay.
I think this body knows that we've had some things come before us recently that surprised us where we thought there was wetlands, and the Army Corps actually said there's no wetlands. So that's part of all that's part of due diligence to see what's going on with the property.
So if they find that there's wetlands, then they can tap, in theory.
Yes, they
Or
could.
they could just move on and say.
They
yeah,
can
this is
mitigate,
wetlands.
there's plenty of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are 60 days for the due diligence, and that's part of it. If for some reason they find that the property just doesn't meet
It's not usable.
their needs, they can't do it, their use, there's too much wetlands, that kind of stuff, then they can say, hey, we're not going to follow through with the agreement. After the 60 days, then it makes it a lot more difficult. So, and the representative of the purchaser is here tonight, so if you wanted to hear from them, they're here as well.
Okay, thanks, John.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, I'd like to open a public hearing for comment. Do we have anybody who would like to make a comment?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay. Do we need a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion, Mayor Pro Tem. A motion to approve resolution number 2022-31, approving the sale of approximately 17.7 acres of Springville city property at the approximate location of 1725 North Mountain Springs Parkway for the amount of $6,350,000.
I'll second that.
Okay, Jason?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Chris?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 10?
So we're actually
Oh, no, we're actually
reversing-
not.
11's
We're
gonna
reversing.
go first.
11's going to go first, okay. Okay. Public hearing for consideration of an ordinance approving the Santana annexation. Do I need to read that whole thing?
No.
No,
Okay, Josh Yost,
I think this
Do you-
actually might be,
number 11. Is that 11? Did I not read 11? Santana,
I
Okay.
think,
Yeah, they were.
I think Kim Crane might be doing this presentation. Is that correct?
Josh's name's on it.
Oh, okay. I tried.
I can pull up a map. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. The property in question is the four parcels located generally at the southeast intersection of I-15 and 1600 South, what we often refer to as the Santana property. And it is property that is owned by the city and is not within the city, but within the unincorporated Salt Lake County. Utah County. That would be a very interesting place for some unincorporated Salt Lake County.
Wow.
This just shows you the municipal boundaries surrounding the site. So Springville is on the north, Spanish Fork is on the west across the freeway, and there's a little an unincorporated gap that will remain, and then a little bit of Spanish Fork that borders right along the sharp line close to 1600 South. We're proposing this annexation and have followed the prescribed procedure in notifying all required parties, and the City Council authorized a resolution to accept a petition from the city to begin the annexation process, and now we have it back before you for to formally annex it, and subsequent to that annexation, we'll apply a general plan designation and a zoning designation to the property. That's it.
Okay.
We own all 4 parcels now then, don't we?
Correct.
Already picked that one up. Okay.
All right. Any questions for Josh? All right. Thank you, Josh. Okay. I would like to open a public hearing for comment from the public. Anyone?
Mayor Pro Tem will move to close the public hearing.
Okay, second. Okay, you've done the second.
I'll
Okay.
second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll go ahead.
You're on a roll.
Who beat us out of the gate that time?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 16-2022, approving the Santana annexation regarding parcels number, I should let you do it, number 26, 049, 0051, number 26, 050, 0042, number 26, 050, 0041, and number 26, 050, 0040 for approximately 55 acres located at approximately 1800 West, 1600 South, Springville, Utah, County as a commercial zone.
I'll second.
Okay, so roll call vote. Jason?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Craig?
Yes.
And Chris?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Let's move on back to item number 10. Public hearing for consideration of another ordinance for Santana. Josh, do you need to come up again, or? Okay, come on up.
Yes, I will actually present these 3 items to you together because they're all work together, and then you can take those hearings and motions,
Okay.
if that's acceptable. Sorry.
Perfect.
Yes,
Yep.
that's great. Thank you.
For the background, we annexed this city-owned property, and we'd like to apply a commercial general plan designation to it. And then we would like to create a new regional retail commercial zone, and the purpose of this zone is to provide for limited high-revenue retail uses in strategic areas, particularly on arterial roads adjacent to freeway interchanges. So we're really looking for this property to serve a substantial tax revenue generation function for the city. So after we create this new zone and amend the zoning code to do that, we'll apply the regional retail commercial zone to the property if you so choose. The current zoning to the north is regional commercial. Also across the street to the north is light industrial. Then we have a corner of neighborhood commercial to the east of the sharp line. Then the Spanish Fork gap. Spanish Fork's current zoning down here is industrial. That's anticipated to change, or in this area is industrial, and that's anticipated to change under a plan they adopted a few years ago to govern future development in this area. And then we have R110 neighborhoods farther to the north and agricultural to the west, to the east. The current general plan has commercial to the north, and then industrial manufacturing also on that current industrial piece with low density residential surrounding it. So it is in line with the existing kind of freeway related general plan commercial areas. The permitted uses in the RRC zone are primarily related to sales and hospitality or dining entertainment types of uses. So all of these uses are those which are permitted in that area. Are there any questions on the uses?
Yeah, I'm sorry, RRC, the regional commercial, what's the additional R?
Regional retail commercial.
Regional retail commercial. So
Yes.
this is just, what's different in this versus the regional commercial, which is further north?
The regional
Correct.
commercial allows professional office, other types of commercial service type uses, which are good uses, but not necessarily as productive from a revenue perspective, especially based on what Administrator Fitzgerald gave us in his presentation last month about our average municipal revenue for these different land uses. So this is the list of permitted uses that are our highest generating uses. And while you might look at hotel and motel, they do generate sales tax, but they also generate transient room tax and provide support and complementary uses to the other uses that we have listed here. This comes to you with a Planning Commission recommendation from our first Planning Commission in July on a unanimous 5-0 recommendation on all 3 items with no changes recommended from what was presented to the Planning Commission. That's all I have. Take any questions.
Questions?
No.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Josh.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, we will open the public hearing for the motion number 1.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
All in favor?
We need a second.
Second.
Second, okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let's open the hearing. Sorry.
Motion.
You don't have to,
Motion.
you're good. We just have to do the 3 motions.
Oh, let's, okay, yes, okay.
Yep.
All right, entertain a motion for number 1.
No.
Josh said we could do them all together.
Yeah. all together.
We're doing them all together. Oh,
So
okay, on item 1, 2, and 3 then. Okay.
I'll
that's
make a
what we're
motion to
doing.
approve ordinance number 13-2022, amending the general plan land use map to designate parcels, 26,050,0042, 26,050,0041, 26,050,0040, and 26,049,0051, located at the southeast quadrant of the intersection of I-15 and 1600 South, also known as the Santana property to commercial upon its annexation into Springville City,
Second.
which has already been annexed into Springville City.
All right, so a roll call vote. Myself, yes. Jason,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
and Mike.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 14, 2022, adopting a new commercial zoning district to be known as Regional Retail Commercial Zone, RRC, and to approve the text amendment to Springville City Code 11-4-102, 5, commercial zoning districts to include the Regional Retail Commercial Zone, RRC, and the inclusion of the Regional Retail Commercial Zone, RRC, and associated permitted and conditional uses to Springville City Code 11-4-301 Land Use Matrix.
I'll second.
Okay, a roll call vote. Mike,
Yes?
Chris,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
and myself, yes.
I'll motion to approve ordinance 15-2022, approving the application of the Regional Retail Commercial Zone, RRC, to parcels 2650-42, 2650-41, 2650-40, and 2649-51.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote. Craig,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
myself, yes, and Mike.
Yes.
Okay. Are we,
I'll motion we can
Finished,
end this
okay.
meeting if you guys want.
No
Do-
closed session.
do we have any closed session?
No, not tonight.
How sweet.
Okay, so be it. I just made that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank
Way to go, Mayor Pro Tem. You did great.
Nice job.
Man,
Oh, I'm done. Wow, that was awesome.